I recognize that the pressures that are on all Ontarians and that leaders are under under a certain amount of stress right now, and some will choose to point fingers and lay blame and even engage in personal attacks. That's not my approach, and that's not, quite frankly, what Ontarians need. I'm going to stay focused on working with Doug Ford and his government on delivering for Canadians as concretely as possible. Last week, in my conversation with Premier Ford, I highlighted that indeed, if he has concerns around borders, we can look at, and we are more than willing to look at, the people coming into Ontario right now. As people know, we have shut down the borders to all but essential workers and a limited number of exceptions. We are happy, as I offered to Doug Ford, to look at those exceptions and further restrict it. I offered on ending international students' arrivals in Ontario. I offered around temporary foreign workers and agricultural workers. We offered to look at the compassionate exceptions. There is proportionately a very small number of people compared to past years coming into Ontario every day, but there is more we can do. And as I said last week when I sat here, Doug Ford asked me to restrict international students. There's been about 30,000 international students come into Ontario over the past months because they were approved by the Ontario government. If the Ontario government wants to do more to restrict the volume of people coming into Ontario, we are more than happy to work with them on it. But it's been a week since we've received that request directly from the Premier that they haven't followed up on, except with personal attacks, which doesn't make sense and, quite frankly, won't help Ontarians. Canadians very much expect politics to continue to function, for people to continue to bring up concerns and do the work as elected officials in representing them. And the strength of our democracy remains important. And yes, we will continue. But I think Canadians also well know that our focus has been entirely, as a government, on delivering for Canadians, on being there to support Ontarians. And quite frankly, we're pleased that Ontario has finally moved on better sick leave support in addition to what the federal government has done. We're pleased that Ontario is finally directing more vaccines to hotspots. We're pleased that there is significant movement and on rapid testing. We are there to continue to work with Ontario. Our priority is supporting Ontarians, not politics. I think Canadians can see that.